Here we are, it is officially the offseason. I don't have like the biggest plan of attack. I just know we need a quarterback and we need a tackle. Everything else I could live with if we absolutely sold, but those two positions cannot be left alone. The sad part, though, is that all the quarterbacks that are decent are literally going to be gone in the top 10 picks, and with us going 9-8 in a little bit of a miraculous season, we're sitting with pick 9 and 15. Never mind, we actually have all the chances in the world to get a quarterback. Forget what I said. Did the Broncos really do that poorly? Where are they? 6-11. I mean, okay, I guess. Yeah, I mean, they don't look super great here, to be honest. Some teams go positive, some teams go negative. We were kind of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps back, 1 step forward. Like, we were, 50-50, and I think that kind of proves it considering 9-8. But let's head on to the re-signings. There might be a couple of players that we decided to wait on that we need to sign right now. And hello? All right, one way or another, we ended up getting to our re-signings. Poona Ford, I forgot, never actually took the deal we offered him. There are actually some names here that we want to keep. I wanted to keep Blair as well throughout the season, as he's a very good backup safety. A 2-year 9, we have 57 mil. A 2-year 9's not that expensive, is it? Nice. I was going to go 2-year 10, but we actually saved a little bit. Kalen Barnes, a guy that we probably should have used more during the regular season, but we had Kobe Bryant, and we wanted to use the guys that we drafted. But Kalen Barnes, man, with that speed, is a tough dude to pass on. I think we're going to wait for a moment on him, though, and look for some of the other guys that we absolutely need to keep. Arcega-Whiteside was actually a nice little addition to our squad as well. I would like to keep him on a 2-year 8 if he's cool. It's exactly what he's hoping for. Sweet. So we're kind of, re-signing some of the role players that were actually pretty nice for us when we needed them the most. Poona Ford, he was pretty good. Kind of slowed down towards the second part of the season. Problem with him is he's not like the greatest player in the world, but at the same time, I don't think we have many draft picks outside of the first round to be working with necessarily. I don't really want to replace every player on the team. I think the first offer was like a 2-year 17. I'd be willing to do a 2-year 18.6, and he's happy to sign. That is a pretty expensive contract, but once again, he was actually pretty good for most of the season. Penny, it's not expensive, but it's too expensive for us when, sure, if Kenneth goes down, we're screwed, but we just didn't really use him. We really just didn't. I'm getting rid of both of the quarterbacks. Crazy to think, but we are. And then Kalen Barnes, if he's cool with like a 1-year 3.5, I'll keep him on for depth. And we kept him. So got our re-signings, even though it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. I know Blythe was a decent player for us, but man, a 71 overall is not great, dude. It really isn't. I'd be fine with replacing him. Although 1-year 4, if he takes a 1-year 4.4, I'd do it. And finally, we have somebody that goes against the grain. So headed into free agency with a nice $37 million to work with, which isn't like crazy great, but considering we obviously have nobody on the roster that we're paying at quarterback, that is fine. We have Eason as the only lone quarterback right now, and I know that the pundits would be all over it, like, oh my God, they've got to do something because you do not want to go into the next season with just Eason. It's like obviously we understand. Sadly, a guy like Lockett, who I'd be potentially looking to trade, is on some crazy contract right now. Sure, we could afford the penalty if we really wanted to, if the trade is right for him. But, man, I just don't think it's worth it. I really don't. Maybe a year from now, perhaps, but I just don't think it's worth it. We have so many guys that are paid up here that we just simply cannot afford physically to let go, let alone talent-wise. The worst part about Abraham Lucas is the fact that he sucks at pass blocking, yet he's an 86 pass block finesse, which is probably like top 10 maybe in the entire league even. I'd imagine that's even higher than Cross probably. Saving his Cross, but I can't imagine you can get better than that. Yet we get smoked. Of course, it's not like you're only going against finesse guys, but that is where you're majorly going to be playing against if you're a tackle. So, I'm just saying, just throwing that out there. Wide receiver could potentially be a need for us. Bo Melton looked pretty good. We just didn't get him in as much as we wanted to. He still has potential down the line, but nobody's position on this team is locked in outside of like Kenneth Walker and Woolen. Pretty much everyone else technically could be replaced. Edge, I think, is fine. Like a little more consistency through the year. Linebacker, I love Barton, but once again, his potential is already peaked really hard. And, it's really hard for me to judge our players right now because we have that stupid morale boost, which I hope goes away because, once again, it's kind of given us misleading stat lines here on defense where, like, everyone looks like a god when they're obviously way lower than that. Safety for the future, perhaps. D-line, I would say, is up there. I know we just paid Puna Ford a 2-year at 19, but Shelby Harris absolutely needs to be replaced. We could even replace him this season. Once again, misled by his overall as well. It's like, 81. Maybe we don't want to get rid of him, but yeah, he's actually not an 81. He's a 76 overall and 80 block shed, 76 finesse. I'd probably be looking to replace him this year. Maybe even move Puna Ford over to like left end again and draft like a nose tackle or something like that. But it's not the worst team in the world. Even though we didn't make the playoffs, we had a lot of boosts in overall. So really just shoring up that offensive line and landing a franchise quarterback is first and foremost, maybe even the only thing we need to do. Of course, looking at free agency, Derwin James, probably not a guy you would expect to be there. Terry McLaurin physically just re-signed, so the fact that he's there makes 0 sense. Brady would be retired. Odell wants to join a winner. Kareem Hunt could actually join us if the price is right, but I don't want to pay that much for a backup. Josh Allen, that guy could be a free agent. Do you want to pay him, though? Elton Jenkins, man, he has 0 teams interested as well. That could be an interesting one right there. Problem is, though, we are kind of low on money, and I don't want to spend too much in case there's somebody I'm forgetting that we have to re-sign. But Elton Jenkins, man, even being able to put him back at guard if we wanted to, if tackle doesn't work out, would be great because we need that position too. C.J. Gardner-Johnson's a cornerback. Huh? I mean, that's what I would do if I had him, but what? I didn't even know that was possible. Is that even a thing? Huh? Did I load the wrong roster? What the hell is going on here? But Elton Jenkins, he'd probably be looking to be paid about 20 per. You can see it's 17 mil per, which is a lot. A 4-year 72, if he's willing to join, I mean, I think that's clearly worth it, as he's obviously a top-named guy, and obviously the Packers are pretty broke, and I could see them not affording him. Dawson Knox would be re-signed, obviously. Gardner-Johnson re-signed more than likely. McCole Hardman, we already got some speed. Sean Murphy-Bunting, our corners are honestly pretty set. Could go, like, do we really want to pay that much on the offensive line? We could go Eric McCoy as well, but I don't know if we really need to do that, right? Like, Elton Jenkins I like because he has multiple uses. Like, if, we find a tackle in the draft that's really good, Elton's super athletic, he could just play guard. So, I mean, I like that aspect. Yeah, I don't really like any of the other linemen here, to be honest, so I think we just pay Elton Jenkins and hope for the best. Ooh, Hargrave. If I would have known Hargrave would have been here, I probably wouldn't have re-signed Puna Ford. Hargrave is a very good player still. 88 finesse move. Sheesh. That guy can get to the quarterback. Aw, Nick Bellore retired. All right, so we got Elton Jenkins on that 4-year, $72 million deal, which is a massive contract. There is obviously potential here, so by the time that contract is up, he should be able to see a playoff game or two if we're lucky. Maybe not lucky, but you know what I mean. If we're, on par like we are. Salvon Ahmed, we need a backup running back. I do not want to give him the 4 years he's asking for, though. If he wants the 3-year worth 9, I'd do it, I suppose. But as far as the 4-year, I don't think so. And he does accept. So we got a couple of guys that are, able to get some snaps. Obviously, the right tackle starting for us. And Ahmed, the backup for right now, as we had no one else on the roster but Kenneth. Probably going to look to draft a running back as well, most likely a power back. I know Alexander Madison's there, but he's asking for a little bit more than I'm looking for to be paying. So, there's that. We're not going to be paying a guy like him to play the backup spot, especially if you looked at the way Penny ended up playing for us, which, it's not like he was bad. It's just, of course, we did not. Wow, Eric McCoy only wants a 2-year 16. I mean, I don't want to spend any more money, though, so I'm not going to. And I was going to do a like goal, but with 2 episodes today, and I want to test those sliders out a little bit more, I don't know. I don't know if I'll do a like goal, but I'd appreciate it if you liked it, of course, the video, that is. And if you're new, maybe subscribe, as even though you may have missed the first whole season, Season 2 is still going to be a great time, so you don't want to miss that out anyways. And if you're not new, appreciate your continued support a ton. And let's get into the kind of scouting process So I have a little bit of a list of players that I kind of put on my tag, and I'm going to be honest with you. Quarterback isn't great here, dude. It's not great. The number one guy is kind of the only sure thing, but he's a top 5 projected player, and I don't know if I want to trade up for a guy that's top 5. And even though he has amazing throw power and all that, he isn't the most athletic guy. He's like kind of a little bit of a poor man's Andrew Luck, if you will. I don't know, dude. This feels like almost fool's gold, if you will. Like, I think you're getting a quality quarterback if you get Lloyd Phelps here. Definitely a quality guy, but is he built the same as every other top 5 quarterback possible? Definitely not. And then you look around, and Whitley's probably the second best quarterback. Problem is, he's 23, which I know isn't the worst thing in the world, but 23 as a starting quarterback hurts my feelings. Sinclair being 21, of course, not fast at all. And if we didn't trade up for the top 5 quarterback, if we even have a chance, because once again, there might be a team that's just locked in at number 1 that wants it, like the Texans perhaps. There are some options here. We got some speed in Kurt Thurman, like a lot of speed actually, but a very raw throw power guy, or throwing guy, however, elite throw power. And then Josh Robertson, who has good throw power, also pretty athletic. A little bit worse, but obviously if you waited for Thurman to go, you can get Robertson anyways. It's a tough choice. I mean, there could be a last-second trade for us up in that top 5 to grab that quarterback. We also have a couple of running backs in here that look okay. Peters, who's pretty damn athletic, 4.31. We needed one of those types of players, but we did just get Ahmed, so I might not be looking for like a speedster anymore, more of a power back guy, which we do have a couple of those on our list as well. And then the number 1, he's not like the number 1 talent player, but the number 1 guy I absolutely want, because I think it could be a ton of fun, is Lucas Northcutt, dude. 6'4", 388 pounds. He's a goddamn tank. I want him so bad. He's 21 years old. Oh, man, this is the way I'm talking about wanting him seems a little bit more than on the field, but we'll relax a little bit. We also have a 5th-year option that is being talked about, a Jordan Brooks 5th-year option. Usually the 5th-year option is kind of for teams that are like super broke, can't afford players, or they want to test the guy out one more year. I don't think we need that. I think I'm ready to sign him now, so we're going to pass on his 5th-year option and just look to sign him early. And then for the private workouts, the toughest decision here is we have a lot of players we would love to know more about. Obviously, at least the quarterbacks are set. Don't need to worry about that, but there's some wide receivers that have lots of potential with their speed and their, some of their ratings at route running. But who do you actually put on the list is the question. O-line, I think you kind of get a good idea of which O-line is, good without having to scout more, but this guy is one of those guys you definitely want to see more of. Blackwell, do you really want a first-round tackle? That guy looks pretty iffy. Cormier, I think, is going to be a guy we put on the list for now. DTs, I think we know what we need. What we see is what we get with those guys. Northcutt's automatically on my list anyways. And yeah, I think it might just be all offensive linemen, or maybe one of the wide receivers just in case. I know Lockett we can't get rid of yet, but it'd be nice to have a guy like developing in the background that we could use to replace him. Playmaker, which is probably the better bet, especially with that release. So I think those are going to be the 3 players that we scout more on. Yeah, scout more on, you idiot. We do have some options here, as we know the Bears aren't going to take QB. We are assuming the Texans won't, but are we assuming that they won't trade down with a team that needs a quarterback? It's one of those situations. They already have a lot of draft picks, but they're still rebuilding hard. Would you trade up that hard for this quarterback? I mean, he does look really good. He could be an absolute god. But at the same time, like we said, you are getting a guy that is not going to be able to run too much. But the other guys, you might be getting guys that just aren't even good. I honestly looked at the trade, and it would just cost us more than I think is worth. Pick 9 and 15 and a second-round pick for this pick of 1 overall. They may still go Phelps, even with Davis Mills, as if you go 2 and 15... with your franchise quarterback, no matter how bad the team is around you, you still got to be thinking, like, can we do better? I don't know. Let's see what they do. And it is tackle. So they, in my opinion, do go the right direction. And then another tackle for the Bears. Quarterback for the Eagles, I think, is pretty obvious here. So sadly, I think we're going to see this quarterback go right here. And we do Lloyd Phelps at 3 overall to the Eagles. A little bit of pain. A little bit of pain, not going to lie. The Steelers could also go QB. The Giants definitely should go QB, and they won't. The Cardinals won't go QB. The Lions probably will, and they don't. So this would be a golden opportunity if there were some quarterbacks, and there just simply isn't. The only option we really have is Logan Whitley, and I just don't think I want a 23-year-old quarterback. But at the same time, if he's good, it doesn't really matter. Ooh, that throw power is only solid. We really need quarterback, but the options aren't there. It was literally Phelps or no one. It really was. And a solid throwing quarterback that is literally like Kenny Pickett. This is a faster Kenny Pickett. I don't want Kenny Pickett. I'm sorry. Hell, at this rate, I'm almost half tempted to trade with the Eagles for Jalen Hurts, even though we'd once again be getting a faster Kenny Pickett because the throw power. Did they go quarterback with Tom Brady? I'm actually probably going to fix that. Tom Brady's going to retire, dude. There's some options here with some other positions that are really nice. Quarterback just can't be the option here. I don't like it. I'm also glad that my players didn't scout further when I asked them to. I don't know if a single one of them did. Beautiful stuff. I think we just made an insanely lucrative trade. We traded pick 9, one of our 5th rounds this year and a 5th round next year for 26, 91. Well, actually, the 91's next year, apparently. We got 26 this year, 27 and 91 next year with a Buccaneers team that could and probably will take QB here, but has that QB need. This would be a very fair trade if they go QB, simply put, and they do. So I don't feel bad about that trade. Very realistic, very fair. They needed QB. They think they got their guy. Who knows? Maybe we were wrong and that guy's a superstar or an X Factor, but I just don't like them. But as we go down the list here, at 15, Logan Whitley's not a terrible risk. I can't do it, dude. He's got B's and an A, whereas these two quarterbacks have very good throw power as well, and their ratings potential is literally slightly less. I mean, grabbing Thurman or Robertson is pretty much like grabbing this Whitley guy, but maybe less dev, perhaps. And we're going to draft, bolster up our draft capital some more. 15 and 170, 170s next year for 41, 51, and 79 from the Bills this year, which will be a wide receiver. I mean, they can kind of use that. I don't know if Gabe Davis is in free agency, but I do see that every once in a while in other franchise. I mean, what other, huh? And this is a little bit of a risk, but I think I'm going to take John Kendricks. He's a B block shed, B power move. He's 6'5", he's 21 years old, and of course, he is very athletic. His strength is off the charts, and of course, his 40 time is pretty damn good for a guy his size at 4'8", 9". This is going to be my choice, our first draft pick of the season, and it's a hidden dev player, 93 strength, 75 speed. That's a great start, on top of the fact that, of course, we did end up trading down a bunch and landed some really good draft capital for the future. Once again, another year where we're going to have, even though we didn't use it this year, 2 first-round picks. We're going to move down to pick 9 now. How many other picks do we have? We have 15. I mean, there's some nice draft picks here for sure. Going to be bolstering up the offensive line with this pick. More than likely, do want to take more. Oh, Cooper actually did get shown. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of liking the route running and all that, but he needed way better catching than that, in my opinion, with his speed to be taken. And it might be a little early to be drafting for the future, especially when we have Blair as a pretty good safety in general, but I kind of like Lamar Austin here, and I think I'm going to grab him. He could play man if he has to, which could be a cornerback look. Lamar Austin's going to be my choice, and sadly normal, but once again, has the athleticism to play corner. He has the height to play corner as well, so we'll have ourselves a nice little hybrid depth player until we have a for sure spot for him to start at. We ended up making another trade, 47 and 175 to move back to 59 and 123. Just most of our stuff is third round and day 3, so trying to, get more of those types of picks as well. We're going to trade in 51 Gotel and a 7th next year for 73 and 89 from Denver. And honestly, for the rest of this draft, I don't know if we're trading down again. So you might be like, that's a lot of trade downs. And it's like, yeah, it is. But like I said, we're probably done trading down after that. Do we take Thurman here? He's a 3-4. Obviously has that day 3. But I would say if you're comparing the two based on the throw power difference and the fact that he's faster, I think Kurt Thurman is probably the better choice. He's 22. What about the other guy? 22, 21, 23. I really shouldn't have worried about that too much, but I did, to be honest. And yeah, I think this quarterback is the better of the two. So that's who we're going to be taking. And of course, he is normal, but 94 throw power. Going to be honest, that speed and excel is a bit lower than I would have expected, but still a pretty good quarterback. Great throw power. and probably QB1. All right, time to grab some linemen, try to even out the hidden and normal, amount so far as sold it a little bit. What about the running backs, though? So Peters is a no-go simply for the fact that we do not need... Oh, 23, I forgot. Yeah, trucking is hard to ignore, though. We do not really need a speed back too much. Rose might be the better option here, to be honest. A truck, a stiff arm potentials. Pretty decent for speed at his size. And what about Holly? Holly with that A stiff arm looks really good. About the same athleticism. So we'll probably end up going until Rose or Holly goes. I'd imagine Rose would be first to go, but we'll be fine with that. And then right here, I think best available lineman is quite clearly Mr. Eric Farley, who has a bunch of Bs on that list. Decently strong. Not the most athletic guy in the world, but very talented if you look at those ratings. So let's hope for our best and a hidden development trait lineman, as we sort of expected. We have a decent eye for these types of things. Van Pelt went, actually. Was that the other guy we had on our list, or was it Pearson? Might have been both, to be fair. Pearson's still there, but he is a lot more raw looking, and we don't really need that many linemen. Be kind of drafting for the future here, and those potentials are raw, like we said. Still have Eric Camp as well. A pass block. The bench press is really bad, though. The lead and the run block power is bad. And I don't think Garvin's good, but since he's 6'8", 335, I was like, you damn right, I'm going to try to draft him. Even though he is absolutely terrible. Pearson's decent, and if he's there 15, I think I'll take him. But if he's not there, I'll be fine with it. We don't really need that many players. And please. Nice. Okay, so Pearson's there. He was just good enough, I think, to draft, so that's what we're going to do. And take Mr. Pearson here. Jamison Pearson, welcome to the squad. Normal dev with his size, I'd say probably center. Once again, still could be a good overall, just normal dev, sadly. So we're back on top with normals out of hiddens. And of course, you already know I am not risking him. He could literally be like a 7th round player. I don't care. Lucas Northcutt with our last pick in the 3rd round. And normal dev, but 96 strength, 68 speed, 77 excel for the defensive version of Mekhi Becton. A lot shorter, but you know what I mean. God, I wish he was 6'7". Ooh, the last running back is Holly already. That is a bit early for my liking, I ain't gonna lie, dude. I mean, we need a power back, but damn, really? That soon? Regardless, though, I think we're going to be going with Braxton Pritchard. We need a middle linebacker. He's 6'3", 21 years old, has that A to C zone coverage. We usually know that these faster type guys are pretty decent in coverage, so that is... change of direction is marginal, but what can you do? That's going to be our guy, Braxton Pritchard, and normal development rate, 87 speed, 89 excel. I actually prefer these players to be normal, unless you get a superstar or an X Factor if you're lucky. But yeah, that's an okay pick. But yeah, I'm very glad that we ended up trading down as much as we did, because we still got, some potential. I don't know how good the quarterback actually is. He might be trash, but assuming he's decent, which, some of those ratings looked pretty good, I think we did a pretty good job of landing talent for the future. Reese is a good pass rusher, but so is Foote. He's, pretty fast as well. Not as fast, though, so I'd probably rather go Reese. But, to be honest, I think it's between Holly and Smith at this point. And I think Smith is a better player, but I also don't know if we actually need him anymore. You know what? I think no matter what, you always go for talent. Spencer Smith is talent. And he's hidden development trade. Okay, that other guy we drafted may not be our guy. I also kind of want the running back still. Because we don't need more than... Let's just make sure he's there. I might trade up to pick 1. Yeah, he's still there. We kind of have to go for him. What about Borum, though? He's really fast. Damn, day 3 still there. 2 fifths for Dwayne and a 5th. Okay, they're down. They're down. We just got to get the last piece. Just another random wide receiver. Not that Eskridge is random. You know what I mean? All right, so we're going to be making that trade up and then using that 5th round probably to grab the running back because I absolutely want a wide receiver now. Vince Borum, small but fast, at worst a kick returner and normal development trait, but sheesh, look at the speed. Makes Bo Melton look slow. All right, we made our trade up using a 4th round next year, and we're going to be taking Rajon Holly, who is normal development trade, and oof, slower than I would have thought, to be honest. 87 speed, wow. Well, at least we got Ahmed. We ended up trading one of our backup safeties for this pick from the Saints, and with that, we're going to be taking a backup safety. Brett Adams, he's 5'9", 224, very raw, B hit power, but has a little bit of athleticism. I like it, so, it's a low-risk pick. 90 speed, 89 XL, giving me mad Quandre Diggs vibes, obviously. And then, I don't know if we need to trade up for a fullback, but we absolutely do need one. So if we see someone that's good, we'll make one final trade up. And Justin Skillen looks pretty good, actually. So does Hawkins. I guess really whoever's better. Ooh, even though he's 23, it's a fullback, and he's way better. Hawkins is way better. It's not even close. We trade Shelby Harris of the Patriots for 2 7th-round picks, one this, one next. And I'm just going to take the fullback at 11, assuming he's there. Because once again, he actually looks really good when you look at the athleticism with, some okay potential. It's not crazy, but they're good. Clayton Hawkins, 23 years old. Welcome to the squad, buddy. And normal development trait, 86 strength. And that will conclude a pretty decent draft, I think. Once again, we got a lot of picks that we wouldn't have had. We were literally we had maybe 4 draft picks in the top 100 picks. And we ended up having way more than that, obviously. And you can see even the overall already is pretty decent. But let's take a look at these overalls, which some of them are not bad. Of course, the worst is the fact that the quarterback's low, 76 with the fullback. A lot of draft picks. Look how many we had, dude. What is 15, 12 picks? Of course, the quarterback, the lowest overall pretty much. And that kind of sucks because he is our quarterback. But very decent, actually. Not a bad player at all. Pretty good. We'll take that. I don't know what number he's going to wear. I don't know. One thing that I will say out of the realm of the recording or the series, we will change the name of a lot of these guys. It's just the only way for me to change the names of these guys beforehand would be to go into the draft, and then I would know a lot of the ratings and all that, so I didn't want to do that. Some of these guys will stay their same names, but a lot of them probably will change. So if you guys have draft name suggestions, let me know, as we'll probably not record the preseason until I get my sliders a little bit better, I think, and we'll have some time then to obviously take a look at those. So John Kendricks anyways, he is a little bit more of a block shedder, but he's going to be instantly playing the replacement role of Shelby. Some of the faces, even skin tones, probably will change as well, so don't worry about that. He looks actually pretty sick. I'm going to change his face, though, because he looks literally like he's 45, 57 years old, maybe. Of course, Lamar Austin, normal development trait, but very good. Once again, this stupid ratings boost is throwing me off. 74 overall is really good, though. A little raw. The hit power is a little lower than I would have liked, but very athletic. Good player. 42 looks kind of cool, actually. Eric Farley, I think, will be... some of these guys aren't great. He actually looks like a good tackle, to be honest, as he has really good finesse blocking. I don't know. We're going to change a lot of this a little bit later on as, the preseason comes around. Pearson, he was good overall, but honestly, he's probably just going to be a complete depth guy, as he just isn't that great when you compare him to, guys like Smith who have hidden development trait, and he's not super athletic. He's a decent pass blocker, but a good power blocker for the pass blocking at least, and he's going to be our center, I think, because of his athleticism lacking, and boom, there you go. So Pearson's just a backup. Maybe even Farley is a backup because we still have Gabe Jackson. Vince Borum, only a 70 overall, but super fast. Probably going to get the nod at the kick return spot for us this season right out the gate, as I don't even think we have Goodwin anymore. Did we keep him? I don't even know. Northcott, 69 overall, very raw. Probably going to rotate with Poona Ford a little bit. Poona Ford's a very, very fortunate guy because he's getting paid to probably not even play that many crazy starting snaps, to be honest. Holly, he was worth it, though. A stiff arm, it was like an A+ trucking. He looks pretty beastly with that trucking. Of course, stamina and toughness issues, but injury's great, and don't really need that stamina because he's just going to be kind of like a third down, run over everyone back. What else do we have? Brett Adams, once again, looking like that Quandre Diggs replacement at some point. Very iffy in the coverage, but he's a decent little player. Of course, he was a 7th-round pick, so what can you ask for? And then the fullback, 76 overall out the gate. Not a bad fullback at all. Could probably play like actual fullback, like offensive lineman. 70 pass block. Some of the pass block power and finesse and all that is pretty trash, but he's actually not terrible. And of course, he's a fullback, so he's really good because of it. And Pritchard, the last guy that we kind of really need to take a look at. Braxton Pritchard with, was that 82 tackle out the gate? Not bad. Hit power is okay. Coverage is lacking hard, though, and so is block shed. But he's going to be kind of like a rotational guy with the guys we currently have, so fair enough. And that's pretty much all we needed to take a look at. I do want to take a look at that quarterback that was taken 3rd overall, 75 overall. Of course, hidden development trait. Oh, okay, his injury sucks, which makes me feel a little decent, but 80 speed, 80 excel, 80 agility. Excuse me. Don't tell me he's an X factor, though. Do I even want to spoil it? I do. I'm going to spoil it. Okay, star development trait. Fair enough. Looking like Kevin Cobb out here. A little bit taller and bigger, obviously, but okay, fair enough. Sinclair, 72 overall to the Buccaneers. Hidden development trait. Okay, fair enough. A lot slower. Throw power is way better than I would have thought, though. Like, it said that his throw power was, like, marginal, I thought. That's kind of bullcrap. And he's a superstar. Okay, well, the Buccaneers made a good trade. Simply put, we're going to look so bad for years because they're going to be like, wow, way to go there. Whitley, normal, dev. Oh, my God, we dodged a bullet. Of course, he's a little bit more accurate and has some of those in-between ratings better than our guy, but our guy is literally better than him, and we got him like 2.5 rounds later. So, sure, this guy we should have taken, but once again, slower than expected. The marginal throw power or whatever, I mean, pre-draft, it just doesn't look like the guy, right? He just doesn't look like the guy, yet he ended up being good, but I think we made the right call. I'm fine with it, and we had a decent little draft. Still, maybe question marks at quarterback, but you never know. Could have got that Malik Willis type. Well, maybe we got lucky. I don't know. But what I do know is we have to fill out the roster a little bit as we are going to be headed to preseason very shortly here. I mean, we're in preseason, but you know what I mean, actually playing it. That'll be next episode as we obviously have quite a bit of positions that need to be tested out. Quarterback even, Jacob Eason showed up really nicely last year. Who knows? Is he the quarterback? This guy we got, we didn't invest that much into him. So at the end of the day, worst case scenario, he's just a 3rd round, depth piece at quarterback in case we get an injury, or maybe he's the franchise quarterback. Who knows? Obviously, running back, Ahmed probably is like the clear-cut number 2, but do you run Holly on 3rd down? We'll see what, that speed does for us, the trucking and stiff arm. Wide receiver, Borum. He's raw, but he's fast as hell. Maybe he gets starts at number 3 or 4. We'll have to test him versus Bo Melton. The offensive line, we got a bunch of backups. The DTs, Northcutt, if he kills it in preseason, maybe he starts over Ford, and Ford just comes in rotationally all game long. And then linebacker, Barton's not guaranteed a starter. That Pritchard guy looks all right, too. He's raw, but he's athletic. Maybe he plays some snaps. The safeties, we got that could be playing corner. Maybe they're the number 3. Maybe Kalen Barnes steals the job on Kobe Bryant. So there is a lot to test out in preseason, and I'm hoping you guys are there for that, as this was a fun little offseason. We added a lot of talent to the team, specifically on the offensive line, specifically at right tackle with Elton Jenkins, who could move to guard depending on what we see, as once again, the guard we did draft actually looked better as a tackle in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think as well. We'll actually take a quick look real quick. So obviously, Elton can kind of play anywhere. He's really talented, obviously, super fast as well. I mean, not super fast, but 69 speed, 72 excel is pretty good. He's got good power blocking. He's got good finesse blocking. Probably does fit a little bit more as a tackle with that finesse. But this guy, wherever the hell we put him, actually, it might have been the guy. No, yeah, it is Farley. He's a little heavier, so it makes sense to play guard. But look at the power versus the finesse, This is really bad power for a guard, whereas finesse, 77 finesse and 78 finesse, that's really good for a tackle. So realistically, we'd be getting the best out of our team if Farley was right tackle and Elton was guard, but I really don't know what we want to do there. Of course, Damian Lewis, we did pay like a 2-year $8, but honestly, I think we're probably going to trade him, and we could probably get a decent draft pick off him, at least a 3rd, I'd say. I don't know if he's on the trade block, which he should be. Throw him on the trade block, see what we can get, but yeah, that's all for next episode, which is going to have a lot of question marks involved, but once again, I think we did a pretty good job in the offseason, and yeah, let me know if you guys have any name suggestions, any, race suggestions, if you will. I kind of want a black quarterback, so let me know what you guys think with that. I'm not going to do some white running back just because there's no white running backs. It's like, yeah, because we're not athletic. We don't have that ability. Troy Hopke's like, I am actually one of the most talented players in the world if you really think about it. But of course, I think he's white, right? He is white, I imagine. Of course, let me know those things in the comment section below. You know, if you want to, you can suggest your name, and hell, if it's a cool name, I'll do it. But don't be like, if your name's like Todd Forklesnark, I'm not gonna name a player Todd Forklesnark. Okay, I'm sorry for your last name, but it's just not happening. Okay, it's not gonna happen. But you know, maybe your name is like Justin Roberts or something. Yeah, that's a cool kind of name, you know. Just suggest names and maybe we'll use them. Suggest races, perhaps we'll use them. Once again, I want a black quarterback, but you know, it's up to you guys kind of, because you know, we would be changing our guy completely here, but you know, it is what it is. I think it's a lot of fun doing these kind of like things. That's the thing, like in our online franchise, which hopefully will be by either Saturday or Monday. For Vikings, that is like one of the things everyone does so much of. The name and like the skin and face changes. So many requests for those, because it's like everyone loves to change the identity, because a lot of the pre-existing ones aren't super great in the game. Like that freaking big dude we got looks so bad, dude. He looks literally like he's 57. But anyways, thanks for watching. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, really appreciate your continued support. Maybe hit that bell icon if you're new or not new and you don't have that on. And like I said, all those things suggested. Let me know what you guys thought of the draft and off-season, as I thought we did a pretty good job. Saved some money where we needed to. Got really good at the position we needed to, which was offensive line, specifically tackle. And yeah, we got a lot of guys that maybe need some developing, but they have some of those core ratings like athleticism. So I'm excited for year 2. Hopefully you guys are as well. As next episode will be preseason. Might be on Saturday. We'll see, because I think there's going to be a rebuild tomorrow. Friday might just be like an experiment with Face of the Franchise. I want to get that series done with. And then Saturday, the preseason. Give me some time to get the sliders and some of the face and name changes you guys may suggest. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!